Day. Chapter 51, The Power of Story. It's chicken soup and grilled cheese night at the 6th Street Community Kitchen. It's funny how normal it feels to eat here now. Everybody says hello. The volunteer servers know us by name. Even Daddy doesn't seem to mind as much as he used to. Just then, Rick, the guy who works at the front door, comes over to our table. I heard what you're doing for Jewel. You did? How? I ask. Everybody on the street's talking about it. Never had something like this before. He reaches into his pocket and presses a $20 bill into my hand. This is from me, for Jewel. I feel a prickle of guilt. I always thought Rick was mean not to let Baby and Jewel come in to eat. That's really nice, I say. He shrugs. I wish I had more. Then he smiles and says, but the volunteers are going to take up a collection. I should have more for you soon. Soon, like tomorrow soon? I ask. Mama gives me a look and a little shake of her head. Rick nods, though. Hopefully. I cross my fingers under the table and knock on one of the wooden legs. It's snowing, that light, drifty kind of snowfall when we walk home. I like this kind of snow. Should have brought the car, Daddy grumbles. Mama looks up at the sky and smiles. She loops her arm through his. I don't mind, she says. This is much more romantic. Daddy snorts, but he smiles too. Dylan skips ahead, weaving in and around the snowflakes. We come around the corner, and there, standing under the street light in front of Hope House, are Ree and Ajax. My heart stops with my feet. Ree's never come here at night. Ever. Has something bad happened to Jewel or Baby? What's wrong? I ask. Ree glances at Daddy and shakes back her dreadlocks. Dylan wraps his arms around Ajax and rests his cheek on top of one of the big dogs. So on top of the big dog's silver head. Did you hear what I was about to say? On top of one of? Dogs only have one head. Hi, Ree, Mama says with a smile. A real smile. Daddy nods. Ree digs deep into her coat pocket. She stretches out her hand to me. I brought you this. Inside my palm, she drops a wad of crumpled up bills. Daddy frowns. Where'd that come from? Ree narrows her eyes. A mantle of snow rests on her shoulders and covers her long black dreadlocks. She looks like an ice queen. It's not stolen if that's what you're worried about. Mama gives Daddy her hardest glare. Of course, that's not what we think. Ree rolls her eyes. I told Piper, all of us who fly signs are going to give some of what we make every day for Jewel and Baby until they leave for Idaho. Mama presses her hand to her heart. She takes the money from me and hands it back to Ree. We can't take this, honey. Y'all need it too. I think Ree is going to roll her eyes again, what with Mama calling her honey. But instead she smiles with that one corner of her mouth. We're survivors, Mrs. Trudeau. She stuffs the money into my coat pocket, and before any of us can say anything about it, she turns and walks away into the snowy night. Ajax trotting along beside her. Dylan pulls on my hand. Come on, Peeper, it's movie night, free popcorn. We hurry inside Hope House. The whole place smells like salt and butter. Have I mentioned that popcorn is just about my favorite thing on earth? We grab bags of popcorn and bottles of water and find 4 seats together. I wave to Karina and her family sitting on the other side of the room with Daria and her little brother. You can go sit with them if you want, Mama says in my ear. I shrug. No, that's okay. I think I'll just hang out with y'all. Sitting in the dark room, Dylan staring wide-eyed up at the screen, Mama and Daddy smiling and holding hands. I think about how different things are from a few months ago. When we lived in Cypress Point, it was no big deal to go to a movie. I just used allowance money and went with one of my friends. Mama usually took Dylan and one of his friends to see something that was more for little kids. Daddy didn't care much for movies. He'd much rather watch football or baseball on the TV. Now that I think about it, oh, sorry, I just dropped the book. Except for eating dinner. Sorry, I have to figure out where I'm at. I dropped the book. Except for eating dinner together, we didn't do a whole lot as a family. I had my friends and my Firefly troop. Mama was either working or busy with Dylan, and Daddy worked or watched sports. These last few months since we lost our house and had to move here have been hard. Really hard. So hard, and Mama sometimes cried and she and Daddy got into fights. So hard, Dylan wet the bed and took to sucking his thumb again. So hard, sometimes I've hated my life and was ashamed of what people thought of me and my family. But sitting here in the dark like this, laughing together, sharing popcorn in our hand-me-down clothes, it's nice. It's good. I'm not ashamed of who we are and where we live. We feel like home.